this year, and she earned the Going Places Director Sales Challenge in the fall. And we're looking forward to hearing her advice to all of us. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Amy. Let me just say, wow, this is so exciting. It is a pleasure to be here today and to be able to share with you what I think contributed to my success last year. So many of you always ask, how can we get higher sales and how can we get more bookings at every show? I do three things. This is my biggest focus. I have 3 steps to ensure higher sales and more bookings. First, I build a relationship with my host through host coaching while setting goals for the show. Second, I create excitement at my shows, encourage my host to help with getting bookings, and I always do a full service checkout. And third, I set a new goal for my host after their show so they can get higher sales and bookings, which will give them more products at a bigger savings. How many of you were ever a host before a consultant? A lot of you. Well, I don't know if you remember what went through your mind when you decided to have a show, but I remember what went through my mind. I needed to paint the entire house. I had to buy new furniture, definitely had to hire a cleaning crew, and I had to come up with a delicious 7-course meal. And while we all know none of this is necessary, it is important to remember that your host may think the same thing. It's our job to educate them on how easy it is to have a party. They only need to invite and follow up with everyone, buy ingredients, and work on their wish list. But we as consultants need to help our hosts understand that inviting and following up is the most important, because if no one shows up, there will be no party. So how do we educate them? It takes more than just giving them a packet. You must host coach. I love host coaching because not only does it give me the opportunity to educate, but it also begins building a host-consultant relationship. I make sure all of my hosts know that we are a team and that I am available to help them with anything they need. I like to think of all of my hosts as my new Pampered Chef BFFs. Host coaching is essential to having a successful party, but so many consultants don't do it. I learned at the very beginning of my business that if my hosts weren't engaged, that my shows wouldn't be at the level I needed. So it was necessary to focus completely on them and take the me and my needs out of the equation. I also learned that if I didn't help my hosts set goals for their shows, then the outcome may not be what they desired, and they probably wouldn't have another show, nor encourage their friends to book shows. I normally conduct 2 to 3 host coaching calls. The first about 3 weeks before the show, the second 2 weeks before, and then the last 2 days before the show. On the first call, I walk them through their packet, which includes catalogs, outside order forms, guest and host specials, invitations, the Discover Us pamphlet, and the cooking show planning guide. I spend the majority of my time on the cooking show planning guide. I set goals for every host. I learned that most hosts either don't realize how easy it is to get a lot of free products because they actually are so wrapped up in the house stuff like I was, and that they forget why they're even having a party because they want free products. So I set a goal for every host to hit a show total between $700 and $900. So wouldn't your host love to get at least $140 to $190 of free products? I think everyone would. So of course we have to educate them on how to do this. So all they need to do is invite 30 to 40 people, get at least $250 in outside orders before their show, and have at least 12 people attend the party. Now most hosts can handle the first 2 things, but getting at least 12 people to the party can sometimes be challenging. I inform my hosts that most people forget to commit. It's important to know if you call, they will come, or they will place outside orders. So they will need to call everyone that hasn't RSVP'd 2 to 3 days before their show. The second call to the host is to remind them that their show invites should be mailed by now or within the next couple of days. And then the third call is when the host gives me information. For example, how many have confirmed coming? How many haven't responded? Did you collect at least $250 in outside orders? If they still haven't heard from people, I remind them about people not committing, and I ask if they are willing to call those that haven't responded. Just by the host following up with those that haven't confirmed will guarantee a few more will show up. And remember, the more people that show up, the more opportunity for higher sales and more bookings. Before I arrive at my show, I tell myself that I will get at least 2 bookings. In fact, I will tell my husband that I will not be home until I get those bookings. Even if it means he will not see me until the next day. That's a long party, isn't it? So set a goal for yourself and make it happen. Also, if you have host packets ready to hand out, you are more likely to book those shows. So you need to be prepared. So how do you get bookings at a show? First, remember it is easier to get bookings at the show if you and your guests are having fun. So relax and engage with your guest. I do completely interactive shows, which means I never cook. My guests cook everything, and they love this concept because they can actually use the products. I'm always amazed at what my guests sell to other guests. I also like to create a big wow moment about all the host benefits. I create anticipation at the beginning of my show by having everyone practice saying, wow. Why don't we practice? I'm sorry. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and give me your biggest, best, most excitable wow. 1, 2, 3. Wow! I wish I were at my parties. Okay. So as silly as it sounds, it actually helps relax everyone, but it also builds excitement. And at the end of the demo, when I'm ready to reveal the host benefits, I remind everyone that we are about to have the big wow moment. And once I flip out the booking slide, everyone shouts, wow! I think this actually helps me get more bookings. It is important to partner with your host and the monthly host special for the month you are booking, even if it is the current month. For example, I need more February and March bookings. I talk with a host and let her know that she can get stoneware and cookware at 60% off. All she needs to do is find a couple of friends that would be willing to have parties, and not only will they get 60% off stoneware and cookware, but she will also. During the checkout, I always ask everyone if they would like to have a show. Even if they have checked no on the door prize slip or on the order form, I still ask them about having a show. And if someone says, no, not right now, I will ask, what does that mean? No, not next week, next month, or not ever. So many people think you are coming to their house the next day to have a party if they say yes. And we all know you cannot paint an entire house in less than 24 hours. So you would be amazed at how many people really want to have a show if you say, hey, you can have it next month. And another common response that you may hear is someone may say, my house is too small. Well, I remind them that standing room only is a great problem to have. After the show, the final way to ensure higher sales and more bookings is setting a new goal with your host. And I do this by adding up all of her orders. But before I give her the total, I ask her to name anyone and everyone that didn't show up, or people that mentioned maybe ordering something. And then I will share with her the show total and then set a new sales goal based on the remaining people that may order. For example, if the show total is $830 and she has at least 3 people on her list, then I will write down her benefits of a $900 show and a $1,000 show. We do not talk about the $800 show. Remember, if they don't know what is possible, then they have no opportunity to make it happen. And the same concept applies to more bookings. In order to get a few more bookings, I will ask the host if there was anyone that wasn't able to attend the party that mentioned they loved the Pampered Chef, or those that didn't have any money to buy anything at this time. And I remind her that this is the perfect opportunity to share with them all the benefits of having a show. For example, she can say, "You aren't going to believe all the free products I am getting because I had this show." And you can do the same thing, and I will definitely come and I'll order something. This helps with getting more bookings from those that I will not personally see. And of course, my host will get more products at a bigger savings if they have a show. Having higher sales and bookings are key to having a successful business. And hopefully today you have learned it can be easy by building a relationship with your host, setting a goal for yourself, creating excitement at your shows, asking everyone about booking a show, and then setting a new goal with your host. If you consistently do this with every host, I guarantee your sales and bookings will soar. Thank you.